Have you ever wondered what would happen if knocking on a door to deliver a package became the last time anyone ever saw you alive? Stay until the end, because what you're about to hear is the actual recording found on Daniel Mendez's phone, an Amazon delivery driver who disappeared exactly 3 months ago in Shadow Valley. What follows was recovered from his cell phone, found abandoned in a house on the outskirts of town. My name is Daniel Mendez, and if you're hearing this, it's probably too late for me. I need to document what's happening. It all started as a normal workday, just another Tuesday. The GPS showed 7 kilometers left to my destination, a routine delivery in an area I'd never visited before. The sun was setting as my van drove down a dirt road lined with dead, twisted trees that looked like hands reaching for the sky. The package I was carrying was small, barely the size of a shoebox, but there was something strange about it. It weighed more than it should have, and sometimes, when the van was completely silent, I could swear I heard something moving inside. The address belonged to a house deep in Shadow Valley, a town that didn't even appear on Google Maps. I should have realized then that something was wrong. After several minutes of winding through increasingly narrow roads, I saw it. A Victorian 2-story house that looked like it was pulled straight from a nightmare. The gray paint was peeling, revealing dark stains that resembled screaming faces. The windows, so dirty they looked like cataracts in an old man's eyes, reflected the last rays of the setting sun in an unnatural way. In the garden, dozens of angel statues pointed toward the entrance, all with expressions of horror carved into their stone faces. Some seemed to have been moved recently, as there were fresh marks in the withered grass. As I approached the door, I noticed something more disturbing. Small amulets and strange symbols were carved into the frame, and a sickly sweet, nauseating smell seeped through the cracks. My instinct screamed at me to turn around, to leave the package and run, but something pushed me to continue. When I rang the doorbell, the sound echoed like a lament inside the house, followed by what seemed to be a child's cry, though at the time I convinced myself it was just the wind. The door opened with a blood-chilling creak. An elderly woman with white hair and an unnaturally wide smile appeared in the doorway. Her teeth were small and pointed, like those of a fish, and her eyes were completely black, without iris or visible pupil. Beside her, an elderly man with a cane stared at me fixedly, without blinking, his face a mask of deep wrinkles that seemed to move on their own. "Oh, dear, our package has finally arrived," said the woman in a sweet but disturbing voice, like the sound of nails scratching velvet. "Why don't you come in for a moment? Sebastian will be so excited to meet you. He's been waiting so long for a new visit." Something inside me said to run, but my legs wouldn't respond. The old man tapped his cane on the floor 3 times, and I felt each hit resonating inside my head. "Come in, boy," he said in a voice that sounded like gravel in a blender. "Night is falling, and it's not safe to be outside when darkness comes to Shadow Valley." The inside of the house smelled of incense and something else, something metallic and familiar that I couldn't identify at the time, but now I know was dried blood. The walls were covered with black and white photographs, all showing different delivery drivers smiling at the camera. While the old woman prepared tea in the kitchen, I noticed something horrifying. In each photo, the delivery driver's eyes seemed to be filled with terror, and some images appeared to change when I looked at them from the corner of my eye, showing scenes my mind refuses to remember. The old man sat across from me, rhythmically tapping his cane on the floor. With each tap, the lights flickered and the air grew colder. "Sebastian will be down soon," he whispered with a twisted smile. "He loves visitors, especially young delivery drivers like you. He says they have the tenderest flesh." The old woman returned with a cup of tea that smelled of iron and rancid spices. "Drink, dear," she insisted, her black eyes fixed on me. "The tea will help make everything more bearable." Her fingers, noticeably longer than normal, brushed against mine as she handed me the cup, and it felt like being burned with ice. That's when I heard the footsteps upstairs. Heavy, irregular footsteps, as if something huge was dragging itself across the floor. The ceiling creaked, and black dust began falling on us. The old woman's smile grew wider, literally from ear to ear, revealing more rows of pointed teeth than should be possible. "Sebastian is eager," said the old man, his voice now deeper and distorted. "He hasn't eaten in days, not since the last delivery driver who visited us." As he spoke, I noticed his skin seemed to move, as if something was crawling underneath it. The footsteps approached the stairs, and with each one, the photographs on the walls began to bleed a black liquid that dripped to the floor. I tried to stand up, but my body wouldn't respond. The tea, they must have put something in it. My vision started to blur, but I could clearly see how the elderly couple's skin began to peel off, revealing something dark and chitinous underneath. The last thing I remember clearly is seeing a massive figure descending the stairs. It was tall, so tall it had to duck to avoid hitting the ceiling. Its body was a mass of tentacles and impossible limbs, and its face, God, its face was like looking into an abyss that stares back at you. It had the shape of an adult man, but distorted, as if someone had tried to recreate a human without really understanding what one should look like. "Welcome to the family," the three said in unison, their voices merging into a chorus of impossible sounds. "Your flesh will feed our dear Sebastian, and your soul will keep us young for another month." This is my final recording. If anyone finds this, don't deliver anything to Shadow Valley. Don't trust elderly couples with too wide smiles. And for God's sake, if you see a package that weighs more than it should, leave it where it is. Oh dear. Still recording? Let Sebastian show you what we do to those who try to tell our secrets. If this video chilled you to the bone, don't forget to leave a like and share in the comments what you would do if you found yourself in a similar situation. Would you dare to enter that house? Would you drink the tea? Subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss more horror stories like this one. And remember, the next time you hear a doorbell, it might be something more sinister than just a delivery driver.